Originally I was going to have this as part of my original video, the very first one, the one I did about Ichigo and how he's not weak and all. But I didn't do it because, you know, having a 30-minute long video is no fun for nobody, especially me. This is more or less going to be a video talking about why he's that strong, which it's not why I think he's so strong, it's just where all that power is coming from. Because like I said, there's a huge gap between being able to fight somebody like Grimmjow and then being able to throw hands with Yami or Gin, or even being able to hurt Aizen. Most people know that's a huge jump, most likely thousands of times over like what his original strength was at the beginning of the Arrancar arc. And now it's just like, you know, he jumps from that to Grimmjow level to being able to hurt Aizen, and it's almost seemingly out of nowhere. However, there's actually a statement I want to go over that I feel perfectly explains what's going on here, and it's kind of famous because Bleach's statements are very ambiguous for, you know, their meaning. They can be interpreted several different ways, and, you know, it's more or less the characters, we don't even know if they're correct when they make statements. For example, if you go later on in the War arc, Unohana talks about how she's basically the strongest Soul Reaper. Don't actually know if that's correct or not, but she still makes the statement, so it's pretty hard, you know, because when the characters are lying or they don't even know if they're correct themselves, it's real and what's not. But the statement I want to go over is actually the one Hollow Ichigo makes. He makes a statement about power and him being the king and whatever, or him not wanting to serve Ichigo anymore because he doesn't have the resolve or battle instinct to continue. Anyway, Ichigo beats him, and then he makes a statement right after that. And this is the important one, where he says he's going to take control. And most people interpret it as just, hey, he's going to take over his body, he's going to transform into a Hollow, and that's going to be the end of it. The Shinigamis are just going to have to dispatch Ichigo. But I don't actually think that's what he meant. Reason being is because Hollow Ichigo has had, and I'm not even kidding when I say this, because I went over this in the last video, as many L's as Ichigo has taken, his Hollow has had that many chances to take over his body, like literally. If you go all the way back to the Soul Society arc when his mask kept appearing, then during the fight with Byakuya, then he starts taking control during his fight with Yami, Grimmjow, the Vizards, and on and on and on. Like, there's just so many examples of when he tries to just take control. And nuts too, because it's just like, okay, if he tried to take control that many times, why? Why hasn't he taken control? And most people just chalk it up to, you know, Ichigo has too much resistance, or plot device, or something to do with the plot, and it's just, bruh, what even? I don't actually think that's actually the case, because if you go over to when Ichigo is actually training to achieve Mugetsu, his final Getsuga Tensho shit, they actually make a statement about wanting to protect him, but Ichigo actually has two, or well, depending on the way you look at it, 3 halves of his whole power. His Shinigami and Hollow, which are 1, and then you have his Quincy powers. Now, his Quincy powers just straight up suppress his powers to make him not fight anymore. And most people think this actually includes his Hollow half. However, I'm not really inclined to believe that, because like I said earlier, his Hollow makes a statement about wanting control. The way I interpret this is very different, because if he wants control, that more or less means that he's talking about Ichigo's power in a sense, not necessarily his body, just taking control of his power, allowing him to release his restraints and fight at full power, which to now being able to fight above captain level threats, or even captains post-training, because the captains when they go from Soul Society arc to Wake Mundo arc are a lot stronger. Like, I mean, Kenpachi, for example, he's only relevant to Shikai Ichigo in the Soul Society arc, and now he's messing up people that not even holified Bankai Ichigo can do. Destroys Yami. He wrecks Nuitora. Like Ichigo, like I said, gets back up to their level, and it's just like, how? And it's, like I said, it's because of the Hollow. It's because of the Hollow actually taking off the restraints, being like, no, you're gonna die if we, like, you know, keep suppressing your power, because you're gonna keep going in there and fighting. Like I said, I feel like it's just a separate mentality from both halves of his power, where it's just one wants him to stop fighting, and then the other only has a lust for battle and wants him to continuously grow. it also makes a lot of sense too, because the Hollow, like, if he wants him to continuously getting stronger, take that and apply it to the Ukiura fight. Because if you take a look at it, it's not his Quincy half that saves him, like when he Pachi and he was about to die. It's his Hollow half that saves him in the fight with Ukiura. Not just that, but I'm more inclined to believe that he kept a lot of that power after he transformed into his Hollow half. Hence his statement afterwards about his mask feeling heavy and, all this other stuff. Because as we know, Ryatsu can actually crush you. Like, your own Ryatsu can crush you if you're not used to it. Like what happened with Ichigo when he fought Byakuya and he released his Bankai. He nearly got crushed by spiritual pressure. The statement was also made by his Hollow, too. But yeah, like I said, his Hollow, right? Giving him all his power, same thing in the war arc, Zangetsu, or I'm just gonna call him Old Man Zangetsu. Old Man Zangetsu, fades away, and then, Ichigo can now use 100% of his power. Old Man Zangetsu wants to suppress Ichigo's power, and then his Hollow half actually wants to let his power out so he can keep fighting, where the old half wants to suppress his power so he won't fight anymore. However, and the reason I think the Hollow half wants to let his power out is because of the statement of wanting to take control. He can let his power out so he can actually defeat them, because at the end of the day, both of them actually want to protect Ichigo, and this is a statement actually made verbatim in his inner world when he's doing his Dangai training.